I'm Pat Doris. Welcome to The Story. How you doing when it comes to pumping your own gas? It's been almost 3 months now. Are you getting the hang of it? I like it a lot. But now Oregon's biggest union wants to undo the law and make it illegal all over again. And that's our big story tonight. And now back to the story. It's true, Oregon's largest union wants to roll back the law that allows people to pump their own gas. The union is UFCW 555. Now, that's the same union involved in the strike of the pharmacists against Kaiser. Spokesman Miles Alicia took a break from the strike to talk about why the union wants to repeal that self-pump law.
Well, part of it has to do with accessibility. People with disabilities should have full access to gas stations and other public accommodations. Part of it is safety. Nationwide, 2/3 of all civilian injuries caused by gas station vehicle fires are due to unintentional human error. And, simply the workforce. HB 2426 had the effect of eliminating a number of those job positions around the state, with some workers being transferred elsewhere or laid off. The result has been less jobs and more people looking for work, which is bad for workers, but oddly good for gas station profits.
And is this just tilting at windmills? I think polling is showing that 2-to-1 Oregonians support being able to pump their own gas.
I don't know if I want to be compared to Don Quixote, but there's a lot of implications there. No, it's Oregon has been a great bastion. Oregon and New Jersey have been a bastion against this, which is just a grab of corporate profits because they want to have less workers, because less workers simply means that they don't have to pay people. It's not, tilting at windmills. We're trying to do the right things for workforce, for Oregon's economy, keeping money in the economy, not going out of state to giant multinational corporations. They should pay people working at their gas station. They should make it safe for the people who are coming and getting their gas.
All right, but just so you know, I'm not making that stat up about the polling. Lots of people support pumping our own gas. This DHM poll from January of 2021 shows 63% support it, 30% against it. OPB first reported that ASHIA confirmed the union held off criticizing the gas bill during the legislature because it was promised another bill would make it easier for cannabis workers to unionize. They wanted that bill, so they agreed to hold off on the other one. But once the self-serve gas bill did pass, then the other bill did not move forward. So now the union is back, going after the pump your own gas law, which they would have opposed back in the legislature. And we've learned they've also now put together an initiative petition ready to go to ask voters to pass that other bill, the one that would have made it easier for cannabis workers to unionize. OPB reports the union will need to collect 117,000 valid signatures by July to put either one of those on the ballot. And by the way, the union's made up of about 30,000 members, just for a little context, so they kind of have a big task ahead. What do you think about this? Do you like it? Throughout our reporting, we've had lots of thoughts from you on self-serve gas, some of you for, some of you against, those of you against, really emotionally, strongly against. Would you sign the union's petition to put the issue back to voters, or do you like having the pump your own gas option like I do? Let us know, will you? You can email us. The address is thestory@kgw.com, or call and leave a voicemail, 503-226-5090. Now to the state of Washington, where each year more than 10,000 people are arrested by State Patrol for DUI. That boils down to more than 24 DUI arrests every single day, which is frankly hard to believe. But this week, the Washington Supreme Court heard arguments that could have major implications for most, if not all, of those cases. It hinges on the technicality of this breathalyzer machine that's used statewide. You blow into the machine and it determines your blood alcohol level by taking 4 samples and calculating the average. But now here's where things get really interesting. Washington State Administrative Code requires those calculations to be rounded to 4 decimal places. So that's 0000. Okay, but the breathalyzer, it doesn't operate that way. It shortens the final digit instead of rounding, meaning it does not include 4 decimal places. A lawyer in Kitsap County pointed out the discrepancy, and district court judges there said, yeah, you know what, you're right. They ruled the results from the breathalyzer machine invalid because they go against that administrative code. Now remember, these breathalyzers are used statewide, so that one ruling has huge implications. And that's why the case jumped straight to the state Supreme Court.
The toxicologist has told us since 2015 that it did the rounding, and they trained all law enforcement and technicians that it did the rounding mean, and they testify in court that it did the rounding mean, when in fact it never did.
None of these sections require that the instrument do the rounding and the plus or minus calculation. Everything that the district court decided was based on a misapprehension.
All right, so those were the arguments in front of the Supremes. Washington State Patrol tells our sister station in Seattle that the way the machine works now actually benefits the defendant, and noted that out of more than 81,000 cases, only eight revealed an issue with the shortened number instead of rounding. The state toxicologist, who's part of the State Patrol, approved these machines in 2010 and knew about that calculation error, but our affiliate reports that person did not disclose that information until 2021. Oops. There are efforts underway now to change the state administrative code to just match what the machine does. In the meantime, lots of folks are waiting to hear what the state Supreme Court decides. Don't expect anytime soon, though. Don't expect that ruling anytime soon. We're told it could take 6 months to get an actual decision. Coming up next on The Story, there's a new program in Multnomah County that's meant to help people get homeless people into housing. Have you heard that line before? We'll explain what makes this program different or not, and what homeless service providers are saying about it when The Story returns. Yes, the KGW Great Toy Drive is coming soon. We need organizations to sign up and help collect toys for kids. Head to kgw.com/toy to learn more. We want to thank Rada Paint in Clackamas for signing up already. Way to go! Last year we collected 35,000 toys. We'd love to do more this year. Please join us. Just head to kgw.com/toy. Now let's turn to Multnomah County's homeless crisis, shall we? And if you think that line sounds like kind of a broken record, well, try this next one. Multnomah County has launched a new program to get people off the streets and into housing. This program, you've heard that many times. This program is aimed at connecting homeless service providers with landlords who have empty units. The county partnered with a nonprofit called Housing Connector. that works with the real estate company Zillow. The program incentivizes landlords to list their vacant units on Zillow, which then will make it easier for the homeless service providers to find places for people transitioning off the streets in cases where a landlord would usually deny someone a lease for things like, bad credit, criminal history, gaps in employment. Well, when that would usually happen, now this program would have those landlords waive those requirements, and the Housing Connector will cover the first 2 years of their rent.
One of the biggest obstacles to moving someone off the street and into housing is finding an available unit to put them in. We have been successful at taking thousands of people off the streets and putting them into housing. There are always places we can do better, and I've worked on identifying those, and this is one of them.
Multnomah County Commissioner Shushila Jayapal has been trying to get this program up and running for nearly a year now. She believes connecting landlords and service providers is an important piece that's been missing from previously county-led housing programs. Now, for those of you who are really plugged into stories like this in Multnomah County, and we know there's a lot of you because you watch our show and we love you, thank you for doing that. Well, this kind of program does sound very familiar. Last year, Multnomah County launched a different landlord incentive program called Move In Multnomah. It paid landlords 1 year of rent to house homeless folks. But when the program ended this summer, some of those people ended up right back out on the street because they were not able to make the rent payments themselves once the initial funds ran out. So will this new program work any better? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It began this month, and today our Blair Best talked with a handful of homeless service providers, asking them about it. Some of them had not even heard of it. But they told her that other services like addiction and mental health resources, those things still need to be included with something like this in order for it to be successful. Tonight, KGW will premiere our new documentary, Sick Medicine. It investigates doctors who are disciplined for serious misconduct, but then allowed to keep practicing. Ashley Korzlin has been here all week previewing the project. Ashley, you talked about failures in the system today. You're looking at possible solutions and ways patients can research their own doctors?
Yeah, Pat, this is a really complex problem. There's not really one solution that will solve all the issues here. But when we talk to patient safety advocates, one of the big things that they want to see in Oregon specifically is for the state's medical board to put all the publicly available disciplinary records online and for free. They just don't think that people should have to pay for it and go through the records process.
That makes sense. Advocates also want to see more members of the public actually sitting on that medical board?
Yeah, they want more public members because they say that it will bring more balance to the way that the board disciplines doctors. In Oregon, there are 13 members on the board. Currently, only 3 of them are public members. The rest are doctors or other healthcare providers. Now, another solution advocates feel could help improve the system is if the state of Oregon were to pass a law similar to one passed in California. This one now requires that doctors disclose to patients if they're on probation for sexual misconduct or any misconduct that leads to patient harm. We traveled to California to interview Jerry Hill. He's the former state senator who sponsored the Patients' Right to Know Act.
So before that patient walks into to see that physician, he has to know, or she has to know, what those conditions are. Then the patient can make the informed decision of whether I want to continue or not continue with that visit.
And Oregon, just to clarify, has no equivalent law.
Interesting. And I know you asked the medical board for interviews on this?
Yep. So I asked the board itself for a formal interview. It declined. I also reached out personally to every member on the board. Didn't get any responses, but we do want to show you the statement that the board emailed us. It says the Oregon Medical Board is proud of its record of upholding the agency's mission and protecting patients through consistent and decisive disciplinary actions when warranted. The board has a zero tolerance culture for sexual misconduct. And Pat, I can tell you, I also reached out to Governor Kotek's office because Governor Kotek oversees the medical board. Her office declined any interview with us at this point. And I reached out to more than a dozen senators, state senators, and representatives who are on the state's healthcare subcommittees, asked them to watch this documentary and let's chat about solutions. So I'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah, I wonder if it's politically too hot to handle.
It could be.
Yeah. All right. And remind us where we we can watch it.
Yep, so you can watch Sick Medicine. The broadcast premiere is tonight on KGW at 7 o'clock. You can also find out much more information on our website. That's kgw.com/sickmedicine.
All right, great reporting. Thanks so much, Ashley.
You bet.
That's coming up soon. By the way, Ashley found this website to be the best resource to research your doctor. It's docinfo.org, and it can help you figure out if your doctor has been disciplined in multiple states. That website, one more time, docinfo.org, docinfo.org. Coming up next on The Story, it's a sit-down interview that you have to see. The parent of one of the college students killed near the University of Idaho last year opens up about the son they lost and how they're honoring his memory. Plus, how they answer the question, what does justice look like for you? That's next, when The Story returns. It's been nearly a year now after 4 University of Idaho students were murdered near their campus in Idaho, and their families are finding ways to remember them. Ethan Chapin was one of those students. He grew up in the greater Seattle area and would have turned 21 years old this month. My colleague Joyce Taylor sat down with his mom and dad to talk about their son and the book that she wrote in his memory.
On a beautiful star-filled October night, triplet children were born, and oh, what a sight. 3 healthy babies, what could we say? Such a joyful, amazing, and momentous day. But there was something incredible about that boy who wore blue. His bubbly personality immediately shone through. I just needed people to have the true story of him. For people who know him, it's a little bit of a memoir. And I think for people who don't know him, it's literally the message how Ethan lived his life.
Tell us about him.
Ethan, he was truly one of a kind.
He was an exceptional kid from the day he was born.
I mean, he just lived life to the fullest. He kept everybody in check.
And not just because he was 6'4".
No, not because he was 6'4". It's just that there was just a way about him, and he had a good message. You know, his message is just be yourself and have fun and do good for everybody.
You just miss him walking into a room and
Yeah.
giving you a hug and making some funny comment, and he was amazing.
Is there anything that you miss the most?
Hugging him. Oh, I'd give anything, and yeah, that's it. I'd give anything to hug that kid again. In his blue Patagonia, his puffy blue Patagonia coat. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right?
How are you after almost a year?
It's shocking it's been a year. We spent, I call it a period of time, there was about 5 months that I call it the depths of hell. I mean, we went there, we've been there. I think you have to go there in order to start the journey out that is the process of healing and figuring out how you live your life without this person that's been in it forever. I have a place kind of where Ethan lives in there, and it's a safe spot. You know, for me, but I think overall, under all of these circumstances, I think we're doing well. This thing took one of our kids, but it can't take the rest of us.
I think about Maisie and Hunter a lot because I'm a multiple. And there's a unique, special connection that multiples have that other siblings do not have.
Yeah.
I know that. And so I've thought about them often, having lost a piece of themselves in losing their brother.
Jim and I can sit here and tell you what it feels like to lose a child. I honestly cannot tell you what it must feel like for Maisie and Hunter to lose literally a piece of them. It's profoundly different for them than it is for us.
They came home mid-May after school was out, and they spent all summer at our Idaho home, and both worked. And it seems like they healed a lot during that period of time. It's just going to take time for us all.
When we send our kids off to school, to college, we think it's one of the safest places they could be.
Yes.
I mean, Moscow, Idaho?
Not in your wildest imagination, or nightmares even.
Right.
Could you imagine something like this?
We were at Parents' Weekend the week before. I mean, literally the week before, and just had the best time with the kids. And you would never think that something like this could ever happen.
It was the best
there.
weekend, and we were in the King Street house that weekend. I mean,
We were.
we were like, what a great! These kids are living their best life.
You put a post on social, you sent it to me, that you spend no time being angry that would not be energy well spent.
We don't use that word anger.
We can't bring Ethan back. I mean, let's all be honest. Nothing we can do can bring him back. And when you start to feel angry, it literally can take you down a rabbit hole that just isn't a healthy place to be.
So what does justice look like for you in this?
Oh, I have not been asked that question.
The person who is in jail right now, that it's gonna take care of itself. You know, nothing we can do or say or anything is going to change what's going to happen to that individual.
You have no plans to even go to the trial, to even be in the courtroom from start to finish?
No, there is no closure. The only closure I have is knowing that my family is good and healthy, and we move on with our lives and do what we were doing prior to this terrible thing that's happened to our family.
It's a choice. You know, you just have to tuck that kid somewhere in there, and I'm thankful for the 20 years we had with him.
Totally.
100%.
So you have a tattoo
I do.
on your arm.
So it's from a note that Ethan wrote me probably the 4th grade. And you know, we just signed it, I love you, Mom.
We are coming back up onto Parents' Weekend and a big birthday for your kids, 21.
21 was something that we talked about forever. Having these triplets turn 21 was going to be the greatest, the greatest night ever. That night cannot take away from Maisie and Hunter. So, you know, Parents' Weekend, it'll be a little bit camouflaged in Parents' Weekend, and then we'll go out and we're going to celebrate Maisie and Hunter. Yeah. We cannot forget that that's the priority.
Is there anything that you would want to share with parents parents who've suffered just a horrific loss.
Find something positive in every day. Find something that you feel like brings you joy in a day. There is always something there, no matter how dark the day feels. We found it every single day. He was selfless, caring, generous, and warm, and wherever he went, the friends would all swarm.
We want to pass on his positive energy.
This tale, the story of the boy who wore blue, is a message for everyone, including you.
That's his legacy for you.
That is.
Yeah, it is. Life is short, so give it your best. Be happy, smile, and encourage the rest.
Oh, sweet. The Boy Who Wore Blue is on sale now. A portion of the proceeds from each book will go to the Ethan Smile Foundation. The foundation provides post-high school scholarships for students from the town of Conway, Washington. That's where he grew up, and the students at the University of Idaho. Well, that's the end of our show. By the way, we've seen your emails coming in on self-serve gas or pump your own gas. Keep them coming. Doesn't matter which side you're on. We love hearing from you. Hey, thanks for watching our show. And remember, the story, our story, never ends. The broadcast premiere of KGW's new investigative documentary, Sick Medicine, coming up next. I hope you'll stick around and watch it. In the meantime, enjoy your weekend. I'll see you right back here on Monday night.